Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine. Today we have Tully Williams of the Niello Company and Noah Lee, Director of Product Consulting with Cox Automotive. Gentlemen, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Noah, to kick things off, Cox Automotive has really grown. And I mean, you just continue to innovate and bring the best to our dealers like Tully here. And, marketing has been top of mind, but just set the stage. So, how is Cox Automotive helping dealerships with their marketing efforts?
So when it comes to marketing, let's think about marketing 101. You got to know your customer, and nobody knows car shoppers better than Cox Automotive because we've got data points on about 7 out of 10 shoppers nationwide in real time. So that gives us a really deep understanding on where in the buying process those shoppers are, what vehicles they're interested in, how likely they are to buy, what their budget is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that allows us to provide services that gives dealers the opportunity to target their shoppers with personalized ads based on that shopping experience. So if they're just researching, maybe a more general ad for the type of vehicle. If they're exploring financing options, financing ads. And then if they buy the car, let's get them into that service life cycle by sending them service ads and getting them re-engaged. Maybe they didn't schedule service after they bought the new car. Well, sending them personalized ads, or if they decline service, let's get them those ads. So we have that deep understanding of where that shopper is, what actions they've taken, and we make it easy for dealerships to target those shoppers with personalized content, gets them back into the dealership.
And Tully, you're seeing this real time across the Niello company and this really holistic approach to being able to have all of your customer touch points in a cohesive ecosystem is really important.
It's very important to us, and and right now our big focus is retention, and sitting at 71% starts with making sure that you're doing a good marketing message, right? Making sure we have happy customers, and then when it comes on the fixed side, is that keeping people in the dealership is priority one, right? Providing great service, of course, but how do we keep them in our stores so they buy their next car and tell their friends and family? So I think that when you look at a Cox Automotive that has this data set. And then also on the fixed side with the X-Time piece is that manages us about the process of when we get checked in, what we sold and not sold, and then how do we do that marketing message after they leave? Is it a thank you? I noticed you didn't buy your brakes today, or your brakes are a yellow, or your tires are a yellow. Let's keep an eye out for that with the right coupon is so critical to make sure they don't go and defect.
And Noah, how is this really imperative when it comes to the customer experience? Because, there's a lot of dealers that are listening today and, not all marketing is created equal. And sometimes it can be just noise on the customer cell phone or in their inbox. So how do you really help the dealership craft a cohesive message that's hitting at the right time?
Absolutely. So the one thing we want to avoid is that spray and pray mentality, just sending out ads everywhere to everyone, because what happens is people just get annoyed and they stop paying attention. So it goes back to really having a deep understanding of where that shopper is and maybe what actions they might be taking next. And then, striking while the iron's hot. So, as Tully was saying, like understanding, oh, maybe you declined that service on your brakes last time. Well, here's an offer to get a 5% coupon on your next brake job. So that has that enticement. It's at the right time, the right message, and it gets them back into the dealership. And the other thing too is thinking about it. I think as Tully said, is keep them coming back. So I like to say cradle to cradle retailing. So get them through one life cycle and then get them into the next. So if they're servicing your vehicle, understanding when maybe it's time for them to trade in that vehicle and giving them an offer to purchase it back and get them into their next vehicle and keep coming back to you.
I think the service acquisition is what he just mentioned is a huge deal for us and for all stores is how do we get quality used cars? Plus, we know that car has been in our ecosystem the whole time. We know that car is a quality car. We know the history of that car, and that customer also is a good customer of ours, which means the negotiation process is cut like 99%. And I think that is the real key issue of are we doing the processes right, communicating the right message, but then when the time the life cycle comes over, because the service writers are probably one of the most trained, most trusted people to a customer. And now we can offer that car over and get a quality used car and get that person in. We get two customers out of that deal.
And you're also not paying auction fees to get that car either.
100%.
That's right. And Tully, this is so critical because, I mean, when you're talking about the Niello company and some of our listeners out there today, the marketing component can vary by your OEM brand. There's a lot of attention to detail and OEMs are very sensitive about how those pieces get marketed too.
It's crazy for, what they need. So our goal at the Niello company and Fix especially is turn it all off if we can. Because they don't really, I hate to say this badly, but they don't really care about our customer. They just care about all the customers. We care about our customers, and we want those messages to be more direct. And that's where Cox can help us, where it's a targeted message to that one person, not to 5 million people. And I think having that message right now, there is some, things that we have to make sure that we're in compliance for co-oping and so forth. Yeah, no problem. But having the direct message that is a Niello message to my customer for where if we're going to trade in a new car or buying brakes is crucial for us.
And Noah, one of the things that we've talked quite extensively at the Fixed Ops Roundtable about has really been, again, the customer's appetite for technology. And customers are turning to a lot of pieces like AI to get a more, informed opinion about where they need to take their vehicle for service, where they should be buying a vehicle. So, how is Cox Automotive bridging that gap between the AI and the more traditional marketing?
So AI is a huge imperative at Cox Automotive, and we've launched a lot of new AI products this year. Number one is going to be the AI assistant on Auto Trader, which pops up when you're on a listings page or a vehicle details page and can basically answer any question you have about that vehicle and guide that shopper through the funnel. And we've seen conversion rates increase by about 3x just you using that tool. We also have an AI mode, which is basically like Auto Trader's Chat GPT. So you can go and ask it any question and it'll serve up the content and information you need right then and there. But inside of Vin Solutions, we also have our AI assistant, which can engage with customers after hours or maybe when a salesperson's busy and do all of those things that a salesperson might typically do, like get their trade-in information, add it to the CRM, schedule an appointment, answer questions about the vehicle, and actually even try to acquire that vehicle for that salesperson. So one thing that we found with some of our studies around Cox Automotive and AI adoption is more and more millennials and Gen Z shoppers are more comfortable talking to an AI than a real person when they're first starting that journey of buying a car. So we're developing these tools ahead of the curve for that next generation of buyers.
Noah, this is incredible. And Tully, lots of great implications for this.
It is. And on the fixed side, Cox Automotive with the X-Time piece is helping our technicians diagnose cars better and actually write better stories to get paid better. And also then in that case, how to make better quotes. So we're very excited about AI and what Cox Automotive is coming down the road for the X-Time piece. So super excited for what's coming this year, 2026.
Well, Noah, thank you so much again for sharing your insights with us today. Tully Williams of the Niello Company is here with us. Cox Automotive is where you can find more information. I'm Sarah Vantine here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and we'll be right back.